Let's bring you this conversation now as we continue to track the road to the Paris Olympic Games. World Championship silver medalist in cross-country mountain bike racing, Candice Lill, is one of the athletes to watch out for at the upcoming Games. She ended 24th at the last Games in Tokyo and has just gone from strength to strength since, as she won bronze at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham and most recently, just last month, ended in second spot alongside her teammate in the Cape Epic. She joins us now from Cape Town, actually. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to be chatting to you. Firstly, congratulations on a very good Cape Epic result.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Can you tell us what, if you look back at the Games in Tokyo and what you've been able to do since, would you say that that's like a really good market for you in terms of like something shifted thereafter and being able to achieve on the highest level in the senior category?
Absolutely. I think in elite level sport, it's one thing to achieve good results in South Africa, but in order to really perform on a global international stage, you need to be exposed to that level of competition, and often actually. So I think for me, Tokyo was a massive learning curve. There was a lot of work I had to do to even be ready to compete there, and since then I just feel that the level, I'm more used to the level of competition. I've got a lot more experience. I'm gaining experience as we go, and hopefully it keeps improving.
What are the plans from here until the Games in Paris?
So in order to be best prepared, as I said, I need to expose myself to that level of competition. So this weekend, we've actually got SA cross-country and short track championships. The following weekend is African championships, and then I'll go into a World Cup season in Europe, where I'll race against top-level athletes that I'll compete against in Paris as well.
You form part of SASCOC's OPEX program, which supports athletes hoping to make the Olympic Games, to qualify, but not only qualify, but be able to reach their potential when the Games actually come around. How important is that kind of support from SASCOC, but as well as other sponsors in a sport like cross-country mountain bike racing?
Yeah, so I think everybody knows cross-country mountain bike racing is not a massive sport in South Africa. So it's really important to get that support and funding from a lot of sources. In my case, I have some incredible South African sponsors alongside SASCOC as well supporting me. And honestly, there's no ways I would be able to do what I do without that support. As I said, it's super important to have the means to be able to get overseas and gain the skill and experience.
Because it's not just you that's traveling, but it's also your bike that's traveling. And I suppose that time that you need to actually be on the ground to acclimatize.
Yes, definitely. When you start going to Europe, you're looking at different weather conditions, different terrain, and obviously in cross-country mountain biking, your equipment is a massive factor as well. So there's so much to adapt to. And I think it's something that takes time, and as you go, you get to learn the courses and the different places. But it's definitely experience counts a lot in that game.
You mentioned the different weather conditions and what you have to go through. And what we're seeing on the screen now is actually a picture of you coming over what was a very muddy finish line in Scotland at the World Championships. You led for most of that race, but what a fantastic result. Best ever for a South African, ending in second place at the World Championships. Do you want to take us back to that moment and that race and how important that was for the year that you've had since?
Yeah, there's so many things I can say about that race. For me, it was, in a way, like a full circle moment. I did really well as a junior, and I came third in the World Championships as a junior, and had many years where I struggled after that and tried to put the pieces together. And to be able to race like that on that level last year just felt like such a massive moment for me. It was, as you said, a race where I guess, people would say I could have won, or even in the back of my mind, but I think it was an important step. And this year we go for the win.
So reflecting on what happened at that World Championships, what were some of the key lessons that you're going to take with you to the Paris race?
So I think the biggest change for me would be mentally. There's a difference between pitching up at a start line and just being part of the race, or thinking that you're just going to be part of the race and see how long you can hang on. And when you just get to a start line and you decide, I'm here to win, and I really believe with every fiber that I can win. And I think, yeah, that requires a lot of mental work, but also just the confidence from my racing from then on and how it's gone is a massive factor.
The fact that you led for so long, has that been a major confidence booster for you in the races subsequently?
Yeah, so I think I didn't lead the entire race, but I was with the leader for until about halfway, and then she got away on a section where I didn't expect her to go away, and I think that threw me a little bit, and that's something I must definitely learn from. But I did manage to. What really gave me confidence actually is that I managed to close a lot of time in the closing kilometers of the race, and I mean, in order to do that, you have to have paced really well. So I was super proud of my pacing strategy. I think what I must learn is next time I must be prepared to risk it a bit more, I think, to win.
How much do you know the Paris course?
I did the test event last year in September after the season. I made a special trip over to look at the course, because with cross country, it's really important to know the course and to know what's coming. And yeah, there's quite a few technical features on there. And yeah, we did a lot of testing in terms of equipment, in terms of getting data analysis for the course and what to run in different weather conditions. So I know it pretty well. Obviously, I will still need to practice it in the days before the Olympics, but it's looking like a fun and exciting course.
You mentioned the confidence that you need when you are at the start line, to know not only that you're there to compete, but actually that you're there to win, and you're not only going to compete and participate, but you're actually going to win. What's the biggest driving factor and motivating factor for you? Because cross-country mountain biking is a really painful sport. I can imagine you go to the brink very often during the race.
It really is. It's a sport where you have to accept that it's going to be painful. And I think what I've learned is that you have to prepare very well mentally to be ready for that. If you go into the race at a point where you sort of unaccepting of the pain, it's not going to go well for you. So I've learned a lot in that way. And yeah, I think also, as you mentioned, you have to be ready to win, and that also requires a lot of mental preparation and visualization to be able to stand on the Olympic start line and believe you're going to win. But I do believe that you have to shoot for the win, even if you don't win. If you're not at least shooting to win, why are you there?
Candice Lill, speaking like a true winner. Thank you so much for chatting to us. All the best of luck in the build-up to the Olympic Games. That's how we conclude your Focus In on Sport for this hour.